What's up, Docs Daily? It's Friday. It is Friday, February 6th. A couple days. We're less than 48 hours, basically. We're about a little over 48 hours, I should say. Super Bowl. A little bit of action today. No hockey. It's the first day no hockey for a while, so we have to resort to women's Olympic hockey if we really, really want some. I'm jonesing for hockey so bad, Robert.
I was going to ask, are you starting to shake a little bit? You getting the shakes over there?
I'm going to a minor league hockey tonight in Henderson, Nevada.
Wow.
I can't do it. I need some kind of action. So, yes, I'm on the Silver Knights, not the Golden Knights, the Silver Knights tonight in Henderson. Boom. We're going to get some minor league. If you have never been to a minor league anything, baseball game or hockey game, just, bring a cooler of beer, man. It's a good time.
Right. Good cheap fun, man. Good cheap fun. Times. Hey, welcome to the new members here. Kaz and Maggie Wedding 7543. You're definitely not whips putting your wife's name in your handle. And Steve Louis 4578. Welcome to the parties, guys.
Yeah, welcome in. We got already hot comments here about NFL. Joe Beef's a Patriots fan. Brings up some good points about that. We'll get to some NFL stuff because Raphael might join us as well. He did say he might be running late. It's not, he's a busy man. He's probably on Yahoo Finance talking about the over-under on the humidity in San Francisco or something.
True story.
I'm just saying he's a guy. He's that guy. We'll talk a little college basketball. There's some small market stuff here on today. Actually, I like a couple games here. Yesterday did not work out well for me. Reminded me why I hate college basketball on Thursdays, apparently.
Vermont did not play well, I will say. But, again, there's a reason that these games are free plays we talk about here and games that are not on my card. Didn't like it, wanted to stay away from it, and that's the reason why. But there's some juicy stuff going on Saturday. Not as much tonight. I just did a free play video that you can check out at Doc Sports on the Davidson Loyola game tonight. You want to talk I'm not often befuddled by many lines that come out, but I was expecting that number to come out around 15.5. Okay. It came out at 9.5. That does not happen to me very often.
You're not that far off. You could be a couple
here
there, but that's
I've talked about them here. Loyola is a bet against or stay away because they have been one of the biggest messes in the country. Now, I know nobody's following Loyola Ramblers basketball, right? But this was a team that was expected to compete for an NCAA tournament bid to win that conference. They won 20-plus games last year, brought back a ton of returning production. That is an excellent program. Okay, Drew Valentine's solid coach. The wheels have completely come off, and they came off late in November, early in December. They're 6-18 on the year. I have seen games where they were up 15 and ended up losing by double digits. They're a disaster. Of course, they're coming off a rare win, their first win in weeks. And I don't see them putting back-to-back wins together. Davidson is a team that was a little bit overvalued, but they've come back to earth. They almost beat St. Louis their last time out. They should have beaten
a run.
My God, they should have beaten St. Louis. They were up double digits on the best team in the A10. They end up losing that game. So do they have a little bit of a hangover here? That's why it didn't make my card. But that's one that jumped out at me.
Big. I mean, this is a big game. UConn, St. John's. This is probably the biggest game on the board today. I don't know about you guys. Somebody mentioned Bradley money line. I'm on Bradley with plus the points here. I even, me, my two-team teaser took Bradley. I'm on Bradley and VCU. I don't feel comfortable about VCU, though. But we can talk about Bradley first. Northern Iowa and the Panthers. The Bradley Braves. It just sounds like something me and Kurt here. We would bet this, me and Kurt.
I am definitely on Northern Iowa.
Here we go.
In this game. Okay. A little bit of a red flag that they're favored. I just think that they're the better team. I don't love laying points. And this is a few more than I thought I was going to have to, but it is a red flag that they are favored despite, being further down in the standings. Bradley has faced the number 11. They've faced the weakest strength of schedule in the Missouri Valley. basically. Okay. Like this team, love Brian Wardell, their coach, really good coach. I've mentioned on this show before, their point guard, Jaquan Johnson for Bradley. If you haven't seen him play, he's a lot of fun. But I like this Northern Iowa. Like, home court advantage is still huge in the Missouri Valley. They played a much more difficult schedule. And Northern Iowa, maybe I'm wrong on them. I had higher expectations.
Right.
I still think they're one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the conference. Like, them and Murray State were kind of who I thought were going to be the 2 teams in this league. I didn't think Belmont would be as good as they are. So I think that they're right there. I don't know, though. I don't know. I like Northern Iowa. I like the home court advantage. I want to fade Bradley because they played that easy schedule. But, again.
See, I took the points. I wasn't crazy. I'm not as crazy as Kurt here. I did not go money line. I took the points, and I got that at 3.5 last night. It's now, I see places at 4.5. Maybe should have waited. I don't know. Sometimes I'm ahead of it. Sometimes I'm not. It is what it is. But I took the points with Bradley. I put them in a 2-team teaser. I ain't gonna lie. But you mentioned Belmont. There's some people that I've seen, that like
little Flames money, a little UIC
like the Flames money
money
here. I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm like, I don't see it. And when I saw people talking about UIC, first of all, their logo looks like a Uno card on fire. I mean, like, okay, so like I had to automatically I lean Belmont right away because it's just based off the logos. And then I do think Belmont better than expected. Sneaky team. I thought this was a good spot for them too. UIC, the Flames suck.
I kind of like the under in this game. Like, Belmont
Okay,
scored over 100.
I can get behind that.
They've scored over 100 in back-to-back games. Look, Illinois Chicago almost beat them on the road in the first meeting. Now, that was back early December, first conference game for both teams. They only lost by 3 points on the road. Illinois Chicago is a clutch and grab team. They're more defensive oriented. They want to slow the pace down a little bit. Those teams are always going to play better on their home court, where maybe the refs are more willing to give them a little bit of a leeway versus going on the road. They just had a big winning streak snap. I think they had won like 8 in a row, something like that. Yeah. They lost to Murray State. I bet against them in that Murray State game, and they probably should have covered in that game. Murray State kind of pulled away late in that one, so they played well. But I'm just not in a hurry to bet against Belmont. They're so obviously the best team in that conference. I do think it's a sharp side. I think it's a sharp side betting on Illinois Chicago. But I'm just not going to bet against Belmont. So,
UIC best player is suspended for punching that guy last game. I don't know. I like Belmont regardless of this hot take here by Kurt. I can't confirm nor deny. I have to Google that.
I have it. Yeah, do your research. If anybody for Illinois, Chicago is out, then sure.
And you're all over.
Definitely don't bet them or go Belmont. But no, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anything about that.
I haven't seen anything either. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not I bet it last night. I'm not really looking. What is this?
Yeah,
maybe might have panicked because there was no hockey today, so I was like, I gotta bet college basketball.
Gotta have something. Yeah,
gotta have action.
I passed in the NBA, passed in college basketball. I won a 7-unit NHL play last night with Carolina, which we talked. I desperately wanted to give that out to all of you guys yesterday. I was asking leading questions about whether the Rangers were going to fold. Also won my 7-unit NBA, so I'm saving my best punches for tomorrow. I just didn't love today's card.
That's fair.
NBA
is a little weird for me. I don't want to.
Well, listen, going back to that Connecticut game, I do like Connecticut a little bit. Again, didn't release it on the card, so that limits how much I like it. But for me, it is interesting that the majority, and this was the same thing in the Northern Iowa game too. If you look, majority action is coming in on the underdog, St. John's and Bradley. The line's going the other way. This one opened with Connecticut -1.5. And it's gone up, even though most people are on the home underdog here. Like, Connecticut is another one of those.
Tell you everything you need to know right there. Yeah,
it does. It is a bit of a red flag, but I don't bet against the Huskies. I just don't. I try not to. Let's put it this way. They're only 9-14 against the spread this year, but a lot of those losses have been like backdoor losses. Like they're favored by 17, they're favored by 15.5. They win by 13. They win, they controlled these games. They also lost both of their games to St. John's last year. So the revenge factor is real. Okay. Their head coach is a maniac. Hurley's a maniac. Don't think he won't use that as motivation. They've won 18 straight. Connecticut's only lost this year to undefeated Arizona. Okay. And that was a game that was early in the season where Connecticut was really banged up. They didn't have a full complement of players. They do now. So this is not enough points for me to bite on the underdog. I like UConn.
And you can't hold anybody losing against Arizona. You can't knock that. I mean, they're the best team in the country.
Right. And it was a 1-point game.
1 point. Yeah, right. It was a close game. I mean, it is what it is. Big spread here in this Yale
4-point game. It was a 4-point game.
Was there 4 point? Okay. Brown 15.5 versus Yale. Big spread in this game. I laid it yesterday with Yale, but I've been betting Yale for a while. I'm a sucker for Ivy League basketball. I think the lines are soft. I do. I do. But again, I bet it last night at 15.5. I think, and I got 15.5. That's even worse because now I see some 14s out there. So, shop your lines. It is what it is, but
I mean, look, it's the best team in the Ivy League against the worst team in the Ivy League. Like literally, it's the first place team versus the worst team. No, thank you. Like Yale has shown me that they can blow teams out. They're playing at home. They beat Penn by 17 on the road. They beat a decent Columbia team by 17 at home. They beat Columbia by 34. At home. Like they beat Brown on the road the first meeting by 17. So if they want to win this game by 30, they can. So there's absolutely no way in hell you're going to talk me into taking the points.
I just thought they could call their number. Whatever it's at home, Friday night. You know how those Yale boys party. They party a little different Friday night basketball. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure I would love to say that it's a tough place to play, but who the hell knows? I don't think I've ever watched. I mean, somewhere along the line, I probably did, but I sure the hell have not been to Yale college basketball game. Okay,
right? They won't let guys like you on that campus.
They don't let they ain't ready for me. No. I'm the guy that they know off campus, not the guy on campus.
Right, the local.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I got a guy like for sure.
So Curtis is asking how Creighton is favored against Seton Hall tomorrow.
Let's talk.
That one is a little bit straightforward. The Bloom has come off the rose for Seton Hall. They got off to that great start, 4-1 in league play, 14-2 overall. I think they had a little cup of coffee in the top 25, but they've lost 5 of their last 7 games. Seton Hall was a team that had absolutely no expectations coming into this season, but then they played really well down in Maui, got some hype, got off to a good start. They're a try-hard team. That's it. They win on grit and effort and whatever their point guard, Adam Clark, can give them. They beat Creighton the first time, so that gives Creighton a little bit of a revenge angle, but that was only a 2-point game. Creighton is still a tough road trip, man. Like you take those boys from New Jersey and send them out to Omaha, Nebraska for the weekend. That's still a tough trip. So I would look at that as a stay away or as kind of a red flag line that maybe Creighton is the side.
I honestly, when I saw that, I didn't bet it. I'll be honest with you, I haven't bet it yet or anything like that, but I thought, well, Creighton's favored for a reason. That's what I think when I'm like, that looks a little iffy. And I'm like, well, I'm somebody sharper than me in college basketball. That's how.
Yeah, I mean they've lost 3 straight, so they're kind of they're a little bit desperate for a win. They just don't lose a ton on their home court. Now this is the worst Creighton team that we've seen in probably 8 years. They lost Kalkbrenner. They lost a lot of experience. They had a big injury earlier in the season. I can't think of the freshman. The name of the freshman kid that they were counting on for big minutes. I actually think he came back from injury, actually. Owen Freeman. No.
Okay.
No, not Owen Freeman. There's somebody else. No. But anyway, it hasn't gone. Oh, Jackson McAndrew. That's what it is. Jackson McAndrew, 6'10", sophomore. I think he came back, but it just hasn't gone Creighton's way. But that still doesn't mean that I'm going to bet against them on their home court. Doug McDermott he's earned way too much respect for me to do that.
I also I have circled BYU, but I might just be a homer for BYU. I'm starting to realize I'm just waiting for them to be good. Like I thought they were better at the beginning of the year kind of situation. And now it's like, they just haven't taken that extra step. And now Houston and the Cougar, I mean, it's Cougar fight, folks. We got a Cougar fight at 10:30 Eastern. So on a Saturday night. The only thing that could make this better is if it was held in Vegas somewhere.
Right?
Where I could attend.
Those wacky Mormons wouldn't agree with you because they have a hell of a home court advantage.
Hey, they party different too.
Look, it's just another one. It's another one of those situations where if I just would wait long enough, I'm gonna be right. Okay, like we talked about BYU a bunch coming into the season. I was like, they're not as good as people think. They're not as good as people think. They have some talent, but the chemistry isn't there. Guess what? I was wrong. They were 16-1, top 10 team. Everybody loving on them. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, and they've lost all their big games. Yeah, like I hit against them with Kansas last week. Loved that play. Should have been much, much bigger. Hit against them with Oklahoma State in the letdown look ahead the other day. I had that like Oklahoma State. That was just a really bad spot for that team. Houston is another one of those teams. I refuse to bet against Houston. I'm just not going to do it. I did it last week or earlier in the week, and I got reminded why I don't bet against Houston. I thought that they might be looking ahead to this game, and they absolutely trucked Central Florida, a good Central Florida team. So for me, this one is Houston or nothing. Like there's more of an onus on BYU to prove that they can win these games than on Houston. We've seen Houston beat good teams. Like BYU came close against Arizona. They only lost by 3 in that one at home. But that was also a double-digit game. Like they were getting blown out of that game. They were down 18 late in the second half and then made that furious kind of comeback. So kind of a misleading final score. Like BYU just has not shown that they can beat these championship caliber teams. All that being said, I'm not in a hurry to bet Houston because BYU is a different beast in Provo. They are a different animal on their home court. But for me, it's probably a Houston or nothing. It's probably going to be nothing. I'm probably just going to watch this one.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good college basketball on tomorrow. I mean, just top to bottom, I could find a game at every time slot and find something. I'm interested in Tennessee, Kentucky. I wish I could bet college basketball the way I do hockey with draws. Like and bet overtime games. Because I mean, I'm looking at some stuff like Duke, North Carolina. I for the love of me, I hope Michigan State just finds their nuts. They reach down and they find them and they fight against Illinois because they're just getting their ass handed to them embarrassingly the last 2 games. So I'm hoping they just find.
They're gonna show up tomorrow. They always show up on their home court.
I need them to show up with a W.
They're gonna show up. Yeah, this is one that they need, and they really haven't. The more you look at their resume, they've kind of lost all their big games, other than Arkansas. Okay, they beat Arkansas at home November 8th. But other than that, not a ton of great wins.
I feel like that was a whole nother season ago.
Well, I agree. That's what I'm saying. So a little bit of desperation creeping in, but I love Jeremy Fears. I'll take a good point guard.
Okay, Kurt. We were friends. We were friends, Kurt. We were. And then you said something like that. So it's not over. You're still listen, March Madness is a different animal. It's a whole different season. Anything though that jumps out, I know you got a ton of free picks coming for everybody for Saturday's card. But if there's some games maybe that you maybe iffy on making your card or not going to make the card.
Listen, I
want to say the B-rated plays, but I don't want to call them B-rated. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was so locked in on preparing for the Super Bowl and everything with the Super Bowl yesterday that I haven't made that transition yet. But let me see. Let me pull out the old notes that I made earlier this week.
Scott's going on a cruise. I'm going to ask him where he's going too. You're leaving on a cruise. Where are you going?
Okay. Now look, I haven't looked at the numbers. I haven't looked at all the numbers for tomorrow. Okay. But these are just some notes that I wrote down. Virginia -14 over Syracuse. I think Syracuse gets bombed Purdue minus 18.5 over Oregon. They haven't killed anyone in a while, so they may be ready for it. Let's see, Georgetown +7 over Villanova. Got to get a lot of points in that game. South Carolina over Missouri. Missouri's not the same team at home. St. Bonaventure over Fordham. Fordham sucks, and St. Bonaventure is just, God, they're such a hard luck team. Like, this team just blows more leads in the last 5 minutes. They're so much better than what their record is. I probably am going to use Marshall. This is on Monday. I wrote down Marshall -3 over Miami of Ohio. And then in parentheses, it said use this no matter what. So
it's draft day. You're Kevin Costner now, right? Devontae Adams, no matter what, or not?
Right, exactly.
Mack,
Ray Davis, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Providence. I wrote down Providence over DePaul. Maybe they won in double overtime the other day. They're a team that's better than their record. Maybe something got jarred loose there. St. Joe's +10 over George Mason, but it says only if Mason didn't cover earlier in the week. I like Georgia Tech plus the points over Stanford if they're healthy, meaning if Mo Salah is going to play. Colorado -6 over Arizona State. I think Arizona State going on the road, I think they're just wiped out. They played a lot of emotional games. I'm going to take SMU over Pitt. I don't want that number to go. And one of my favorite plays is probably Boston College over Miami. I've been betting Miami relatively consistently. Like, they're super overrated. Good team. Like that team. Okay, I'm not saying they're a bad team. Am saying that they're overrated. Boston College just kind of plays everybody. Tough.
That's a lot of points. I did have that Miami Boston College.
What is that? Like 8? Is that like 8.5?
You can find a 7.5. I mean, depending on where you want to go, but I see 8.5s out there too. Shop your lines, but about 8. I thought that was a 5-point game.
Yeah,
let's put it that way. You know what I mean? I thought if that was anything under 5. I would have stayed away. But I think Miami wins. I don't think they cover. I think Miami's honestly, I think Miami's built for March. I think that's really where they're gonna make a run. I like Miami. It depends on seeding, where they go, this, that, or whatever.
They have North Carolina at home on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think that they're looking past this game a little bit. Tough to make that trip from South Beach up to Chestnut Hill and Boston College. It's going to be cold. Boston College just played Duke the other day, so nothing that they're going to see from Miami is going to be better than what they just played against. And like I said, I think Miami wins this game. That's the respect I have for them. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think they're a good team. But I don't know that they just walk in that gym and win by 12 points. I just don't think that they're at that. They're just
to your point, Boston College plays everybody tough. They're a gritty team. Kind of just they got
a bunch of overtime games. They played
they're just in it.
4 overtime games.
They're like a thorn. Some teams just can't put away. I don't know how much Miami comes into this, to your point, raring to go, knowing that they got North Carolina on deck in couple days.
Boston College plays that Earl style where they play 4 out, 1 in. They work the shot clock. I just think it's going to be an ugly game. I look at the under in that game too. I can see it being 31-27 at halftime type of thing. I think it's a game that's played in the 50s and 60s. And I just think that that's going to make it hard for Miami to kind of get out over that number.
That's fair. I don't know what. I'm sorry. I have my window open in the front of my house and there's chaos going outside. I don't know what's happening.
I don't really hear anything if that makes you feel better.
Oh, good. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, I guess that there's construction or something. I don't know.
All right, look, 25 minutes in, we got to talk Super Bowl, right?
We have to, yeah. But real quick,
who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Don't start, Nevada Maverick. Don't start. I'm just saying. No, so we'll go back to the top here. Joe B, Patriots fan, been in here religiously all year, NFL season, and talking his Patriots up. Nobody really got on board with them. But this is something that's not been talked about. You bring up a good point. The Patriots run game legit. But
listen, I'm glad he said this because I have an 8-unit prop play, my prop of the year, that is directly related to this.
Okay, great.
Okay. I've also won, 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls, 15 out of the last 18 Super Bowls. The guys that come in here and that see me on Doc's Daily every week know that I don't do a lot of pumping myself up or
right.
picks or any of that stuff. So like when I tell you I love this play, I really like this play. Okay.
That's
and the
fair.
Super Bowl is something that like weirdly I've just kind of dominated. Now here are the numbers that I have that is 100% correct. All right. Seattle was one of the top. They were allowed the third fewest rushing yards and the lowest yards per rush in the NFL this year. However, they faced the 7th fewest rushing attempts this year. Last year, the same defense, okay, maybe a couple different players, allowed 4.6 yards per carry and over 2,000 rushing yards on the year. This season, they played 8 regular season games against teams ranked in the bottom 10 in rushing offense. They played 12 games this year against teams ranked in the bottom 14 in rushing offense. New England is 6. New England is ranked number 6. Seattle has only played 5 games. They've only faced 3 teams that were in the top 10 in rushing offense. They played the Commanders, they played the Rams 3 times, and they played the Falcons. They gave up 150 rushing yards to the Commanders. The Falcons put 120 on them. And the Rams rushed for at least 114 yards in all 3 of those meetings. They allowed 127 rushing yards on average to the 3 teams in the 5 games that they faced top 10 rushing offenses. So I agree with you. Okay. Not only that, New England is going to run the ball. All right. Mike Vrabel knows who he is.
He knows who he is. Right.
He is not going to change what they are doing. Okay. Like they have run the ball in the postseason. Was it 70, 100? Wait, in their 3 postseason games, they got 99 times in 3 games. Okay. Now, sure. A lot of that's Drake May running around, right? But he still used his 2 running backs for 25 carries per game with those guys. Okay. They're going to run the ball. And I think they can run the ball against Seattle. So I agree with you, and all of you can determine how you want to use that and incorporate that into your handicapping.
Right.
But that's one of those game within the game things that I sniffed out earlier this week, and that's where I'm pushing all my chips in, so to speak. I'm not going to tell you if it's Drake May or running back or team totals or stuff like that.
They have a 2-headed monster in the backfield with Stevenson and Henderson, and Drake May is as mobile as anybody. So, I mean, it could be anybody. But I like that. I like the angle there because everybody does talk about
how great the defense is.
How great is Seattle's defense? But let's look at what kind of running backs have they played, what kind of teams, or who were they great against? You know what I mean? So that's some. I'm not saying that they still had to play their division, toughest arguably in the NFC. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not saying their defense isn't great.
Well, look, Arizona was the worst rushing team in the NFL.
And they played them twice.
San Francisco was like the 5th or 6th worst. You think of San Francisco and Shanahan and McCaffrey, they didn't run the ball very well because their offensive line was a mess this year. That's 4 games right there. They played the Vikings, who had like the 2nd worst rushing offense in football. They just didn't face a lot of good rushing offenses. And that's not a knock against Seattle or their defense or anything like that. But if we're going to talk about the Patriots and their weak strength of schedule, and I've been yelling about that for 2 months. Before everybody else.
All season.
I was talking about that. If we're going to talk about, who the Patriots played and and how that factored in, you got to do the same thing with the Seahawks. It's all about context. I do. I think that New England is going to be able to run I know Mike Vrabel is going to run the ball, and I think they're going to be able to do it effectively.
I really think that at the end of the day, both teams kind of know who they are. And I think both teams are going to try and run the ball. I think Seattle's probably better with their running backs out of the backfield in the pass game. But so it's going to come down to I'm telling you folks, one of these defenses are going to score a touchdown. Shoot it from the rafters, if not both. I'm telling you. Oh man!
Look, I like
$20 bets floating around.
I like the field goal kickers.
Yeah,
I think that we're going to see some field goals in this game. I think both coaches they're defensive oriented guys. I think they're both smart enough to take the points rather than beating Mr. Big Balls that goes for it on 4th and 1 from the opponent's 18. Okay, we have seen that lead to failure time and time again throughout the playoffs. I come on here and yell about it every week.
Right.
Just take the goddamn points. Just take the goddamn points. It's
move
why
on.
the Bears lost. It's why the Rams lost. It's why Denver lost. I think these coaches aren't going to make those mistakes. They're going to respect the opposing defenses enough that they're just going to take the field goals. So Andres Borregales, the New England kicker, at over 1.5 field goals, I think that is one that you should definitely be on. Unfortunately for what's-his-face, for Myers, for Seattle, his over 1.5 field goals is like minus 200. So
right.
you can't really hop on.
For him, I looked at kicking points. I will go
8.5, yep.
because I also think I also don't hate the over. I've said this since on all week. I've been saying this, and it's just I got it at 46. It is what it is. I bet it when it first came out, so it is what it is. But I think if we get some couple touchdowns, each of them, 14 points. There's 2 kicking points each, 2 field goals each. Now we're at those that's 8 points per kicker. That's how you get 3 for a field goal. You get 1 for an extra point. Do the math, folks. And a lot of these are over 6.5, 7.5, something like that. 6, 7 for my teenagers out there. I'm just saying. When they hit me with the 6, 7, I hit them with the. I'm just saying. That wasn't to no viewer except for my 2 teenage boys. That's it. That was directed solely to them. I just want to be clear on that.
I mean, look, like the Super Bowl isn't a low-scoring game anymore. 9 of the last 13 Super Bowls have had at least 46 points. 13 of the last 19 Super Bowls have had at least 46 points. And there's always a great defense. There's always a great defense in the Super Bowl. You don't make the Super Bowl without having a good to great defense. So points are scored. And I've kind of flip-flopped on this one all week. For 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm just going to take the under. Like the defense is. I don't respect either the quarterbacks as much as everybody else does, yada, yada, yada. I've kind of turned around on it just based on kind of the historical trends and the fact that everyone is expecting a low-scoring game. And for me, the Super Bowl is one of those situations when everybody thinks X, you bet Y. That's why underdogs are 9-1 against the spread in the last 10 Super Bowls. The lower seeded team I think is 9-1 in the last. It's become a very counterintuitive betting landscape. I'm
going to leave you with this last stat because Raphael couldn't make it. Yeah, he was trying to, but Yahoo Finance and all that. So, and I'm just giving him a hard time. He knows this, but he texted me this the other day. He texts all week, every day. He texts me like a different random stat for me that is just absolutely blows my mind that he has went down this rabbit hole to find this out. So I'm just going to read it verbatim. He's like dropping more stats for you. The Patriots will wear white jerseys for Super Bowl. This was earlier in the week. Teams in white are 16-5 straight up in the last 21 Super Bowls. New England is 5-0 straight up in white jerseys this season. So there you have it, folks. I mean, it's just.
I mean, that's it. Like parlay that in heads. Obviously, like it's a lock. I don't even know why they're playing the game.
I'm like, why did you just say that on Monday? Why'd you wait till Thursday to tell me that? I'm like, why did you just say that? So he sent me the most just obscure stuff. And, it's hilarious. I think, it's good. Have fun with the Super Bowl. I will say that. The Super Bowl is not meant to be. Listen, you can make money on the Super Bowl. I'm not knocking that. You should use that free 60 that we talk about on Robert's premium plays over there. As soon as I find the damn graphic.
I love my prop card. I feel really good about this.
I like that. Don't go hog. There's no reason to bet multiple units or any kind of unit on the coin toss or otherwise. If you're going to bet props and you're going to do it right, do it with something like that and an actual real prop as opposed to the novelty props. The novelty props are for funsies.
I don't even think that the game itself, the side, is a high value situation. People are going to load up on Seattle. They already have. Some people are going to load up on New England. There's been 2 multi-million-dollar bets placed on the Patriots. And somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. And afterwards, it's going to look so obvious, right? But that's why, I'm sitting here Friday, 2 days before the game, and I'm saying it's not obvious. I don't think, I think it's a good number for the books. They're baiting action on New England because Seattle is the better team. New England does have its advantages and can win this game. But if it ends up 31-13 Seattle, I'm not going to be surprised.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised. Like,
that's the other way, to be honest with you. I'm not either. If
New England will, no, here's the difference. New England will not blow out Seattle. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Sam Darnold is still playing in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, Sam Darnold's still Sam Darnold.
Drake May is still super young. He's never been in a game like this. He hasn't been super impressive in any of his 3 games. I think he's super overrated. The fact that he came in second in MVP voting, I think is a joke. He fumbled 3 times against Houston. He didn't play well against, like, they shouldn't have beat Denver, and Denver started Jared friggin' Stidham. No, like, New England can win this game. They are not going to win this game by a blowout. That's not.
I'd love to see some Jared Stidham action here in New England at some point. It would be who is it now? It's Joshua Dobbs is their backup. You know who else is on there? Oh, Tommy DeVito.
Oh boy,
yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's third string guy. Yeah, all right, I do it. But God, how about that? If he gets a Super Bowl ring. I mean,
take that back to the pizza parlor and
take that back there. His agent will love it. All right, folks, use that free $60 account. Check out Robert's premium plays this weekend. He'll be loaded up for college basketball tomorrow, and he's got a pretty big 8 unit, right? 8 unit prop on Super Bowl. Big as they get there. So get over there. Use that free 60 if you're brand new. This is a perfect chance and opportunity for you to try this out. Try Robert out for absolutely nothing but time. That's all it takes. Click the link. You get the play. Boom. Free 60 if you're brand new. Head over to docsports.com/free 60. Now, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that out loud. It's go green, go white all day, all night, even if they have lost two. Seattle's only allowed over 20 points in 2 games this season. So what I hear is New England team total over. That's what I hear when you say that. That's what I hear because it's the Super Bowl. Scott, have a good time on your cruise. Robert, I'll see you next week. Good luck on your Super Bowl prop.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Griffin Murphy, bring a helmet. It's combat. Take care, guys. Good luck unless you're good.